here's one that was not so easy to figure out, and that's Monica. Monica was hard because she flip-flops in people's mind between being ultra competitive but being a perfectionist.
Monica is you.
Monica is me.
You are Monica. Like,
I am.
Well, you're like a good mix between like Monica and Chandler, I feel like. But Monica is like a huge.
Yes.
Just, I mean, honestly, just from the mistype that I made of you that we talked about in our first episode, and then like even just right now, we put 1 or 3 up in the polls, and that was like. That was like 48 versus 52%.
Yeah,
like
and I knew
like
people
that.
would pick 1 mostly. I figured 1 would win because it's so easy to mistype her, and I call it a mistype as a 1 because we typed her as a 3. And the whole, it comes down to core motivation.
Right.
I really believe that, and I relate to her so well in the show there because I'm a perfectionist as well. And when you think of perfectionist, what number do you go to?
The 1.
You go to a 1.
But that's because we have so frequently called the perfectionist, they're the perfectionist, as opposed to the reformer.
Right.
I think that there's a very great distinction between the
two.
There
is, yeah. Perfectionist is just a quality of a 1, but it also bleeds over into the quality of a 3.
Right.
And this is where, because we even debated, okay, is she a 1 or a 3?
And we went back and forth so many times.
We did, and because she has a lot of tendencies of a 1.
Well, think about like the episode with the maid.
Yes.
Like she was convinced that she was the only one who could clean, and when she was clearly not the only one who could do that, I mean, the mess she got herself into between like thinking the maid stole all of her stuff. Is like,
yeah.
So. And that was her going to her insecurities.
It was, yeah, definitely. And so when I think about her, and I can kind of mirror myself, going back to the whole thing about core motivation, you know, she has a lot to prove to her parents because her parents think Ross is a god. And
which is so interesting to me because I feel like Rachel and Monica can really relate to each other with that whole parental thing as well.
Yes.
Even though Rachel didn't really have another.
She wasn't really trying to prove stuff to her mom as much.
She was proving stuff to her parents.
Her dad a lot. So. But, you know, Monica had to get her worth and her love through her actions and what she did.
Right.
And that was the core motivation. And so how I spin it in my mind, because this is how I am, when people think I'm a 1 and they'll mistype me as that, it's because in order for me to prove through my actions and what I do, my worth, I go to my mind and go, okay, if I do this perfect, I don't mess up, then nobody can come back and say that I messed up or I did it wrong or I'm not worthy because I did it perfectly. And I think a lot of her perfectionism comes from this and stems from the need to prove that she's worth everything that she does.
Right.
And so that's a backing of the whole thing of trying to prove your worth and your love and your honor and everything that you have that you want in life from other people. And so when I was looking at her going, wow, she's a perfectionist, she has pretty high moral standards, all these different things that, wow, a 1 really would display when it comes down to core motivation. And she's ultra competitive too. Like out of everybody.
Oh my gosh, she's the worst.
She's the worst.
Actually the best, but you know.
But yeah, she has to be the best. But oh my gosh, everything has to be a competition. Think about the episode. This is one of my favorite episodes. When the girls lose the apartment to Chandler and Joey.
Oh yes.
The whole competitiveness comes out in the game that they're playing.
She was unbeatable until she was beatable.
Yes.
And then she could not believe that she lost.
She could not believe it, could not handle it. She like puts her hand out to Rachel. She's like, look at my hand, steady as a rock. You know, she's like, I'm not gonna lose this thing. And then when she loses, oh my gosh.
The reaction,
and then she has to get it back. Even to go play like high card on the deck of cards to get it back. And
the desperation.
The Pictionary episode when they're all playing, you know, Pictionary together and she loses her mind and there's just so many things where she's just ultra, and that's, you don't find that as much of 1s.
No.
Somewhat, but 3s, it's so hardcore with her.
It's so hardcore, and I think honestly that she is probably one of the most exaggerated characters of the show, because a lot of them are very true to life. Monica, I think Alexandria, my sister, can relate to her frequently, but at the same time, like, it's just because her perfectionism is the thing that gets her in trouble.
Yes.
But I think about like the ways that it could have driven certain people away from her if they didn't know her and her core motivation so well. I like to think of the episode with like Phoebe and the whole bridesmaid, like, oh, you would definitely be my bridesmaid, to Rachel. And Monica flips out because she's like, wait, why wouldn't I be your maid of honor? Oh, wait, it's maid of honor. Because she's like, well, I'm the best. Like, I'm going to make sure everything is perfect. I'm going to make sure that, you know, and ultimately, of course, you know, Rachel is Monica's maid of honor in the end, which is kind of an ironic situation. But Monica has done so much. She's like, wait, why wouldn't she pick me? And I think that's a huge egotistical blow when you are a 3. And,
it is.
And why wouldn't you?
Why wouldn't you pick me?
I do everything.
Do it all right. I do it all the best.
Yeah.
There's nobody that can do it better than me. I'm the obvious choice.
Yeah.
And then the reaction when she doesn't get picked, or 3s don't get picked, or whatever. You know, being a 3, it's like, if you're not picked first on the team, you're like, well, why am I even here? Like, you know I'm the best. Why would you not pick me the first? I'm not going to do this anymore. I'm going to prove you wrong.
Yeah.
Stubbornness comes out. But I think she's a wing too. What do you think about the wings?
Monica... Yeah, I mean, I think she uses wing 4.
Yeah.
But I think she's a pretty strong
a host.
wing too. Yeah, she's definitely a host.
She's self-proclaimed host. When we switched apartments, going back to that, she had to make the cookies, and she got out the fan to blow it over.
Oh, and the candy.
Yes, and the candy.
The candy episode.
Yes. So
the one with the candy.
She's the ultimate host, and so I think her wing 2 comes out with that. She's got to make sure that everybody's taken care of.
Yeah, which is a really admirable thing, of course, but, you know, it's just, it's definitely her to a T, so.
Yes, it is. So, moving on to her husband in later episodes and seasons, Chandler.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah.
Just kidding.
Oops.
You haven't seen it, but.
Who hasn't?
Yeah. Chandler, classic 6.
Easiest choice.
Yeah. You know what is so funny to me as I'm hearing this? I'm thinking, wow, the guys were the easiest to type.
That's true. Yeah. Guys
Have
are
you ever
pretty
read
easy
that
to
book?
figure
It's
out
like,
sometimes.
I think it's like guys are waffles, girls are spaghetti.
It sounds like a very interesting book.
It's pretty funny.
But I have not heard of that before.
Okay, well, Chandler is a waffle in the sense that everything is like very divided into boxes.
That's true.
There was just no debate, honestly.
Oh, for him, yeah.
No. I don't even remember what we put on the polls for him.
It's like 6 and 6. Like
6 and 8, maybe?
I don't remember.
6 and 2?
6 and 7, maybe.
6 and 7, possibly, yeah.
But, because I think the wing 7 comes out a lot in him. But he's definitely, he goes to, he's the ultimate saver. Think about that.
That's true.
And 6s, they save so well money. We're talking about money. Because when it comes to Monica's wedding scenario A or B, and then she finds out how much he has in his savings account. So he's trying to set up security for himself.
Because he's a worst case scenario thinker.
He's a worst case, and you think about all the anxiety that he gets throughout all these different episodes that we see, and it comes out. And so there's oftentimes going back and forth between the healthy 6 that we see in him, because he's very loyal as well.
Yeah, he's a really great character.
Yeah, and he's very steady. And I find that 6s, especially when they're healthy, one of the most steady people on all the numbers there.
Yeah, he's not predictable, but he's still, that he's the one who's going to be where he says he's going to be for the most part.
Right. So and I think that the wing 7 comes out a lot because he does, especially being around Joey. I think that pulls him out.
Joey definitely pulled him out of the box.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah, and so you see them hanging out together all the time, and his 7 comes out, especially when he's around Joey. And everything.
It's funny, I think, having Ross and Joey as a friend because we've got the 5, 6, and 7 lined up right there. And I think when he's with Ross, his type 5 definitely gets pulled out more.
Yeah.
His sarcasm comes out a lot more.
True.
And then when he's with Joey, he's like this other person almost entirely. Obviously, with the 3 of them together, there's a totally different dynamic. But when he's with, one or the other, like it works out super well for him. Because he kind of gets the best of both worlds, uses both of them equally. I think I would definitely type in 6 wing 7.
Yeah, I agree with that for sure. So those are the main characters.
Yeah.
Now we picked a few more that were reoccurring characters that we thought would be really fun to have on.
Janice!
So Janice was like the ultimate choice here.
Janice. Speaking of Chandler,
Yeah, exactly.
Janice. Okay, the first episode I saw with Janice, I totally watched them out of order to start with, but it was the I'm gonna need a vowel one because she is a character. And for the polls, we set up between 2 and 7.
Right. It was closer than I thought.
It was split pretty much down the middle. I think it was like a, it was pretty quick, pretty close, but like a 60-40, which is, I think, more than we were expecting.
Yeah, because I'm just in my mind, I'm like, classic 7, just like Joey.
But she was consistently looking for like the relationships.
Validation.
The validation through the relationships.
Yeah, I could see that.
So that's where we really drew the line because we were trying to figure out what is her core motivation here. Ultimately, we went with the 7.
Yeah.
Just because I think we can see her wings a lot more clearly.
Yeah, definitely.
Definitely not a wing 3. Probably not really a wing 1. But we could for sure see like the wing 6 and the wing 8 come out.
Definitely.
The wing 6, like nobody will ever love me. The wing 8, I'm gonna do it anyway.
Yeah, she's very much that way.
And the life of the party in the meantime, and
yes,
her laugh even like
it's a classic 7 laugh.
That's a thing. It should be a thing. Yeah.
But it was hard to somewhat type these reoccurring characters because obviously we don't get to see them as much.
You know what? Janice showed up through pretty much
she
the
did.
whole...
From like season 1 to season 10, she's there the whole way through.
I don't remember who played her, but I so admire her as an actress because she made such strong character choices. And I was like, when I was trying to find like a good quote for Janice, just for our social media, I was looking through things and I ran into an interview with the actress and she was like, I don't even know how that laugh happened. Or like the character, they just said they were looking for a girl with a strong Bostonian accent. Apparently she doesn't even have a Bostonian accent.
Funny.
She pulled that out of a hat and she just went with it and the laugh just kind of evolved. And she said the original episode where she introduced that as that character, everyone on set lost it. Like, and they said, "Oh, we're bringing her back like the whole rest of the seasons because of her character choices."
She's one of the best reoccurring characters of all time.
Yeah,
she's hilarious.
Yeah.
Another one that's on there quite frequently is Estelle.
Oh, Estelle. Estelle was interesting. I feel like because we see her, I don't think there's any episodes where we don't see her behind the desk and on the phone.
Really? Yeah.
Like they literally could have filmed all of those in one day and nobody would have ever known.
Yeah.
But she was such a character.
Yes. Hard to type, but we wanted to throw her out there to type anyway.
Because she was just so interesting and quirky.
Yeah.
So what did we put on we put 2 or 4?
I think we put 2 and 4.
2 and 4? Okay.
Yeah.
And ultimately we went with a 4.
Yeah. I went with a 4 based on just her appearance. You know, she's a very unique character. She likes to stand out, so to speak, and so it was tough because there's not enough of her to see and make it accurate. But if I was to guess, and I think most people picked a 4 as well. Yeah,
most people picked a 4. I would say a 2 in part, and I think this is where like the polls make sense and what we're like seeing makes sense, but I think like her core motivation is definitely, her people, her actors too.
True.
And her relationships there. So that one we're kind of still split on. But just because we don't see her quite so much.
Yeah.
So someone we do see like throughout all of the seasons has to be Gunther.
Yes.
I don't even know if he's the owner of Central Perk, but he's definitely like the main barista of Central Perk.
He's the manager, at least.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, he could be the owner, and that would be cool to be the owner of Central Perk.
Yeah, seriously.
We see him a lot, and I just constantly see him like he's so much a relational person.
He really is. Yeah. I love like that one part where
he always wants to be included.
Yeah, and it's so funny because who was it? I think it was when Ross asked him to be his best man, or Chandler.
Right.
I don't remember. He was like, "What's my last name?" Like that was the most important thing to him. Was like, okay, what do you know about me? Like, why would you want that? And it's not really like a yes, like of course, like a Joey thing, like a 7 would respond. It was a, well, why are you asking me that? What kind of a backstory do we have? So I think that's definitely a 2. Now on the polls we threw in a 4 because he definitely appears like he wants to be very different and stand out a little bit.
Yeah.
But he's just so obsessed with Rachel and with the team and things.
Yeah, he wants to be a part. He wants to be included.
The friends. Yeah.
Yeah. He wants to sit there on the couch with them instead of serving them coffee.
Exactly.
You know.
Yeah.
He wants to be in their lives, and so again.
And in a way, he is.
Yeah, very much so. But again, hard to type because we see snippets here and there. But enough. I would say a 2 is
I would
pretty
think
accurate.
a 2. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe with a 1 wing. So.
Probably.
Yeah.
That would make sense. Or 3 because he works in a coffee shop. So.
He owns it. Apparently, we're gonna call it. He owns it.
The owner.
He's very driven.
Yes, he's very driven. He has goals in life.
Yeah.
Okay.
But there was a lot of people also that we wanted to throw on there that we just we don't have time or we don't have room, and what are we gonna do with these people? So real quick, let's just kind of run through a few here as we wrap up this episode.
Jack and Judy.
And Judy Geller. Yep. And so. I honestly haven't even thought about these too much. So on the fly right now, while I'm talking with you, we're gonna try to type these people. And so when I think of Jack, I think he falls into a 6.
Mm-hmm.
I'm thinking
with a wing 7.
Yeah, with a wing 7. He's very much like Chandler, which you can make the argument like Monica ended up marrying a guy just like her father.
That's true. That's very interesting.
Because I think of the episode, when Monica loses her job and he's like, "Don't worry, Judy. What did we tell her?" And talking about saving and all this stuff, and 10% of your paycheck, where does it go? In the bank. Mm-hmm. And so he's got that, but he's also very steady, very loyal. And so I see, but I also see the 7 coming out a lot too.
Yeah, because he's very enthusiastic. Like he's very enthusiastic in almost a boyish kind of way.
True. Yeah.
Which I would say makes a striking resemblance to Joey and just how he reacts to things.
True. Yeah.
I don't think Ross is like his father at all.
No.
I think they are actually on completely opposite ends of the
He's definitely more like his mother. So what would you say Judy is?
Oh dear Lord, Judy. She makes me crazy.
She does.
Honestly, like every time I hear something come out of her mouth, I'm like, you are a nutcase. It's pretty funny. I would, just because I don't know her core motivation, I think that she wants what's best for her kids, but she's also very outspoken. I would say she's probably an 8. Between an 8 or a 1. And the reasoning behind saying a 1 is just because she's not really the perfectionist, but she is the reformer. From what I can see from the very few episodes that we see her on. She wants to make sure, everybody's presentable, and she's always put together very well. She has those very high moral standards for everybody, maybe not for herself quite so much.
But demanding of everybody
She's very demanding of everybody else. The 8, I would say possibly just being like very outspoken, but the 1 makes sense to me.
She's very much the leader in her family too, which is the quality of an 8.
Yeah. But I can't really see the wing 7 or the wing 9. I can more see the wing 2 or the wing 9.
True.
Yeah. So I would say if I were typing Judy just on the fly, I would say she's probably a 1 wing 2.
Okay. I wouldn't argue with that because I was thinking there's definitely a wing or some sort of a 2 in her personality there. Yeah. She's very much relational as well. Very much a helper. Yeah. So, but she's got those high moral standards. So I can see a 2-1 or a 1-2 in that. I was leaning more towards a 2, but obviously that's very debatable. By the way, you guys, if you have any comments or want to chime in on this, let us know. A couple more real quick before we go. Let's run through Phoebe's boyfriends real quick. Mike, towards the end. She ends up getting married to Mike. And so Mike plays the piano.
4.
He's got those uppity parents. But I was thinking of 4.
Yeah, because the 4s...
And that's unique because they would both be 4s.
Which, honestly, I don't know if that's an extremely good combination to have 2 4s, because I feel like they would both either isolate themselves completely or they would both be emotional basket cases all the time. He's definitely a 4 in my opinion, just because he has those uppity parents. Because there's a chance that, and I think we should have covered this with Phoebe too. Phoebe has a twin, which she brought up recently, and with the whole being original thing, it's super hard to be original when you have a carbon copy of yourself. True. There's 2 of you. Yes. But for him, I think that just having, coming from that background, he feels like he has to stick out because otherwise he's just going to fall right in line and he will feel like he doesn't belong, which is a classic 4. You feel like you don't belong anywhere. You feel very unique in your situation. So
I think there's definitely a wing 3 in him too. He's very driven.
Yeah, agreed with that.
He comes from a family that's very driven. So it's and there's a little competitive side like in ping pong.
Yeah.
That
true.
Phoebe had no idea about. That comes out there. So I think there's a little bit of that too. So 4-3 maybe.
That sounds good to me.
Yeah. David the scientist guy.
Oh, honestly, I don't remember very many episodes of him in there.
He's a researcher though. I mean, come on. I think that's goes without saying. He's a scientist. He's a researcher. Not that all fives fall into being a scientist.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
You know? So,
yeah.
But there's definitely he's got to know all the facts.
I feel like he might land on the five-wing foresight.
What's up with her trying to get with the force?
she has to be original.
Yeah.
So therefore she goes out and picks all the original people.
Yeah, I guess you can say, yeah.
Except for Eric, that one, like the one who like was with Ursula for a short time.
Oh yeah.
I mean, that would just be so weird.
That's just odd.
To anyone to begin with.
Yeah.
But like the fact that I think that even she realized this is in no way original.
No.
Even though I think that he was everything that she was like, oh, that would be really cool to like,
True.
hang out with at the same time. And I feel like he would probably be a 4-wing 5 or 5-wing 4. So
could be, yeah.
4-wing 3. So
one more. Richard
Burke.
Yes.
He was so strange to me.
Why is that?
I don't know. He just had like this very like.
He's very stoic.
Well, he was supposed to be like a father figure character.
Come on. Yeah.
I mean, good point. Whatever. But yeah, right off the fly.
Oh my goodness. Okay, I'm good. I found that one of the easiest ways to, if you're trying to figure out someone's type, is to eliminate. What are they not? So he's definitely not a 4.
He's definitely not a 4. He could be a 3. I think he's a 2.
I don't think he's a 7 either.
He's not a 7.
Yeah.
He's not an 8, in my opinion.
He was a doctor, so.
I think he could be a mix between a 5 and a 2.
Could be, yeah. He definitely calmed Monica down.
Yeah.
And there's stuff that we can go into. We don't have time about that and how that helps, compatibility and all that stuff. But I don't, Richard.
He was a curiosity because as much as we saw him, because we did see him for a little while there, I didn't really know what his core motivation was, except for he just wanted to be with Monica, and as much as
he's
he
very
was
independent, though.
There, they were kind of a fling in a sense too. Like we didn't really know what they liked about each other.
True.
Except for the whole calming aspect too. So, yeah, I would lean more towards a 2-wing 1.
True. I could see that.
Yeah.
Well, it's a lot of characters.
That was fun.
We ran through it, and so I don't know what show we'll do next, but we're going to keep shows going definitely on our Instagram account, so watch out for those.
Yeah. A
lot of good stuff coming up here on more podcasts coming up.
Yeah. Let us know if you guys have any ideas or suggestions for any upcoming podcasts.
Yes.
Or series that we're doing.
Or series.
Email us at enneagramenthusiast at gmail.com. That ends with a T, not an S, unlike our handle. But yeah. And then let us know what episodes of what upcoming shows you would like us to discuss. I know Ryan has an affinity for Suits.
Yes.
I have one for
it's the ultimate
Law and Order. But I don't think either of us have seen very much of the others, so we may just have to keep those on social media right now.
Yeah, but love to hear from you guys. We want to develop the community even more, so reach out to us with any comments, questions that you have, and we'll get back to you. Thanks so much for joining us, and
we'll see you next time.
See you next time.